Welcome everybody, my name is Brendan Snyder. Thank you for joining me. If you're new to my channel and you haven't already hit the subscribe button, I'm attempting to reach my goal of 1,000 subscribers, and if you could click that button, I would greatly appreciate it. All right, I wanted to take a look today at a Whitesnake box set that came out in 1992, but this is the 1999 Japanese edition. And the reason I wanted to show you guys this is the way that they break down the tracks in this into different genres and styles. There's a hard rock disc, there's a blues and ballads disc, a live disc, and so forth. And it ties into what David Coverdale is doing right now with Whitesnake and their most recent release, the 2020 album called the Rock Album, which is part of a trilogy. It's the Red, White, and Blues trilogy. White for rock, red for love, and of course blue for blues. And so he's breaking down the Whitesnake catalog that way. This one being full of rock. The Love album will probably have predominantly ballads and things like that on it, and of course the Blues album having all the blues and rhythm and blues tracks like that. Now, this box set covers the early period from 1978 to 82, so it's also the more straight-ahead blues rock period, whereas this rock album here and the trilogy is focusing on the 1984 present. So I thought it would be a good time to take a look back at the early period of Whitesnake, which is not the most commercial and successful period the way that the 1984 to 1990 period was. But it's a really great foundation and bedrock for what Whitesnake would become. I highly recommend going back and checking it out if you're not familiar with it. But David Coverdale got his start prior to Whitesnake in Deep Purple. He fronted them from 73 to 76, and then had a very short-lived solo career following Deep Purple, where he released the first album titled Whitesnake, which would become the impetus for the name of the band, and then the second album, North Winds, which actually features Mickey Moody on guitars, who would factor into Whitesnake in their early years from the 78 to 82 period as well. And so once he forms Whitesnake in 1978, this early period is a much more straight-ahead blues rock period like Deep Purple is. The first release that they would put out would be the Snakebite EP. This here is what I'd call the Snakebite album. It's got the 4 tracks from the EP, but it's also got 4 tracks from North Winds on it. And since North Winds features Mickey Moody, who is part of Whitesnake at this point, it does have all the same feel on it. It's very cohesive 8 tracks that are on there. But the first full-length album debut that they would put out is Trouble, that came out in 1978. And then they did a really great live album called Live at Hammersmith. It's got 6 tracks on it. It's got Ain't No Love in the Heart of the City, which is really great. And it's got a song, Mistreated, which is the Deep Purple classic, which is really great to hear Whitesnake doing their version of it. Then in 1979, they do a really great album, Love Hunter, and this is by far one of my favorite 1970s album covers. I think it just has all the classic elements of what make those 1970 albums covers so great. Just very standout, eye-catching material there. And in 1980, they would release Ready and Willing, and what I think is probably the best album of that early period, the 78 to 82 period. And by the time of the release of this album here, the band had 3 members of Deep Purple now in the lineup, which may have been why they developed towards that more blues rock sound in the early years. They've got David Coverdale, of course, on vocals, John Lord on keyboards, and Ian Pace on drums, all 3 of those guys being from Deep Purple. Then it's got Neal Murray on bass, Mickey Moody and Bernie Marsden on guitars. And this lineup would go on and release another live album, which is Live in the Heart of the City, another really fantastic one, and 2 more studio albums, Come and Get It in 1981, and then Saints and Sinners in 1982. Which brings us to the box set period. So 78 to 82, 4 discs. It covers that EP, 5 studio albums, and the 2 live albums in here. So you can see that it's got a cool black glossy reflective finish on it. There's the top and there's the spine, and the backside just has that image on it. No track listing. It's a slipcase style box, and it's got jewel cases on it here, and the cover is a really nice hard cardboard cover, and the stuff just slides out like that. And you can see it's got a book along with it. As I mentioned, this is a Japanese re-release of the original 1992 box that came out in 1992. So unfortunately, the book is predominantly all in Japanese. And there's no images in it, but I will thumb through it just to give you a quick little glance at it. There's a history and stuff, and there's enough English and non-translated things like with dates and stuff. You can follow along with it. But it does have all the lyrics to the songs in English in here. And then in the back of this thing, they do them all, of course, in the Japanese. And there's the back side of that booklet. But the part of this that is really great are the discs themselves. The first disc replicates the Snakebite album, as I call it, because it's got the 4 tracks from the EP and 4 tracks from North Winds on it for the 8 total tracks. I didn't open mine, that's why it's still sealed in plastic. I already have that album, I didn't need to. But what I really like, and when I bought it at the time, was to get the collection. This is the Hard Rock Rock and Roll disc. Here's the back side of that. And we'll open it up. There's the inside. There's nothing inside these. These are just plain white. So you get that. But the track listing on this, which is what's really great, 16 tracks covering that hard rock, rock and roll period. Take Me With You, Lie Down, A Modern Love Song, The Time Is Right for Love, Belgian Tom's Hat Trick, Medicine Man, You and Me, Mean Business, Rock and Roll Women, Fool for Your Lovin'. Of course, the re-recording of that would be such a hit for them in 1989. This is the original. Sweet Talker, She's a Woman, Wine, Women, and Song, Hot Stuff, Would I Lie to You, Young Blood, and Bloody Luxury. And the next one is Ballad Blues and Rhythm and Blues. And the interior is the same on this. This one has 14 tracks. Kicks off with Trouble, Long Way From Home, Walking in the Shadow of the Blues, just an absolute fantastic track there. Love Hunter, Ready and Willing, probably one of my favorite early tracks from them. Blind Man, Ain't Gonna Cry No More, Come and Get It, Don't Break My Heart Again, which is another really fantastic track. Lonely Days, Lonely Nights, Girl, Till the Day I Die, and then it closes with the original versions of Here I Go Again and Crying in the Rain, which would be re-recorded for the 1987 album that you can see in the box set form behind me. Incidentally, I have reviews for both the Slide It In and 1987 self-titled box sets on my channel if you're interested as well. And the final disc, the 4th disc in this, is a live collection. And it compiles up those 2 early albums, the Live at Hammersmith and then Live in the Heart of the City albums that I showed you earlier, along with one additional track, We Wish You Well. Now, that may have been a bonus track at the time or something. It does not appear on either of those 2 albums that I have. There's 11 tracks here. It has Come On, Sweet Talker, Walking in the Shadow of the Blues, Love Hunter, Lie Down, Ain't No Love in the Heart of the City, Fool for Your Lovin', Mistreated, which is that really great Deep Purple cover, Ready and Willing, Take Me With You, and We Wish You Well. And so following this period of the band, from the 78 to 82, they do enter that commercial period from 84 to 89, and they released Slide It In 1984, which goes double platinum in the US, the 1987 self-titled album, also known as 1987, which went 8 times platinum in the US and was just a huge monumental album for them. And Slip of the Tongue in 1989, which went platinum in the US as well. And they're still going strong today. They've released Flesh and Blood in 2019, which is a really fantastic album in my opinion. And then, of course, the 2020 release of the Rock album, which is the first in the trilogy of the Red, White, and Blues trilogy. So more to come with that. So hopefully you guys enjoyed this, and if you did, please remember to comment, like, and subscribe. Let me know your thoughts, and I hope everyone has a great day. Take care. Bye-bye.